I've got both exhaust holes drilled now, as you can see, and the tips are just in there so you can see what it'll look like. And so then I'll show more about the interior of the boat, how the exhaust system will be hooking up to these. I'm making more progress on the exhaust system. I actually have it laid out about where it's going to be. I still have to figure out how to support these exhaust hoses and the mufflers to the stringer somehow and actually have something that kind of holds them up. So I'm still working on it, but you can see how this is going to look. And I've got all my clamps on, at least this side. I need 8 more to go here, which I have on order. But you can see how it's going to go. Now, once I get these in, they'll be mostly level. As you get towards the back, it'll drop just a little, but it's not going to be downhill a whole lot. But it's the best I could really do with this kind of a build, with a when you're doing the utility like that. So back here you can see the exhaust tips, and then so what I'm going to have to do is, again, I'll do some kind of a little spacer so those can be parallel with the stringers, and I ordered that material. I'm going to try using, it's marine board, HDPE, I think it is, high density polyethylene, and so I'm going to try doing that. And then I'm going to use gaskets. I'm going to get some gasket material in, so I'm not going to use any kind of I'm not going to use 4200 or 3M 4200 or anything like that on back here because it's just too messy, and I need to be able to service this exhaust system, and the only way really to do it is pull these tips out, because the way these, if you notice, the way these hoses and everything are all in line, well, there's not room really to, put it together. There's just not enough room in a linear direction to do that. So pretty much you piece it down here, and then I have to slide the tips in, and but it's looking good. One step closer. And just another note, these are the mufflers that I have. They're meant for tight areas, which I have, and so this is the framing of the rear seat, just for reference. So they'll basically be under the seat. That's where those mufflers are. And so hopefully they'll muffle good. I don't want the boat being loud. I'd like it to be kind of subtle. So we'll see. We'll see how they do. If they don't do good enough for me, what I might do actually is put another pair of those mufflers in series with these back here. But we'll see how that goes. I wanted to show what I did to support the exhaust hoses. I talked about it earlier. I had to figure something out. So this is what I came up with. These are 1-inch square aluminum tubes, and so I secured. I've got little pieces of wood that are kind of epoxy on the top of those floor timbers, because to get the height right. And then on this side I've got two. I'll talk about why I have those brackets here, but on this side I just was able to basically screw them down there, and then in the back they set on that ledge of the transom, and so these will support the hoses, keep them straight, keep them from sagging, and then I'm going to have clamps that I basically will clamp the hoses in 3 spots, is what I'm planning on, actually down to these to hold them down. And this notch here that I have on each side, that's for the mufflers to fit in there. So the reason I have 2 angle brackets here on these 2 is because I wanted to be able to handle down the road if I had to do any servicing of this plumbing, which I don't have all the plumbing in place, but I do have that valve. To unscrew that valve, that bolt, basically it sticks out that holds that handle on. I'd have to take that handle off, and then to unscrew it, it comes in contact with that aluminum butt with these brackets, what I'll do is there are 2 screws, basically machine screws in the side that I basically tapped in, and so you unscrew those from the side, and then this piece will, this one, you'd be able to slide it, angle it just enough, and then that unscrews. Because what I'm trying to do is make it so, because when the exhaust hoses are on here and the seat and everything's in, down the road, if I ever had to do servicing on this, I just didn't want to have to take the whole exhaust hoses off, and in order to do that, I'd have to pull the tips out, this tip out, and I just didn't want to mess with that. So I was trying to figure some way of making it so it'd be serviceable if I had to. So it took me a while to figure these out, but in the end, it looked fairly simple. But it took me a long time to kind of sort out how I want to do that. So that's those 2 pieces or parts is what will support the exhaust hoses. And I'll show another view of this with exhaust hoses all hooked up, and also the plumbing hooked up too.